Malawi is the fourth poorest country in the world, and a very large part of the population lives on less than $1 per day. On our way south through Malawi, we put up our tents outside Kande, a poor but happy little village at the southwestern shore of Lake Malawi, where the people are either relatives with each other or at least they know each other very well. Their school serves also the surrounding community. 130 pupils per teacher, all in proper uniforms. The regional hospital lays just a few minutes walk from the school. So here we are at the local hospital in the village of Kande. It's run by the male midwife and his 2 assistants, so 3 persons, 3 staff in total. After a further night in the bush and after having passed Lilongwe, the capital of Malawi, we crossed the border to Mozambique, now cleaned for landmines after the previous civil war. Since we skipped the cities, we were unaffected by the turmoil after the release the day before of the result from the last president election. We crossed Mozambique as fast as we could and with only 1 night's camping in the bush.
Good morning, Jens. How are you doing?
How are you? Good morning. How nice to see the beauty of the bush camp.
Oh yes, very much. Water morning. Yeah, how are you doing, Chief?
He's doing very well this morning.
Yeah.
Happy heading to Zimbabwe today.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Camping out in the bush, down in the tropics, is otherwise a chapter in itself. And I will come back to this and how that works in more detail. In the meantime, I got a question from my wife Eva-Louise in Stockholm. How are things on the sanitary side out there? Are there any toilets? Answer is yes and no. It varies a lot. At the wildlife campsites, there are in general pretty decent facilities. Along the road, it's typically just a hole in the ground. So, when we are out bush camping, it's another story, because there we don't have any toilets, of course, for obvious reasons. So, there, the tool we use is this spade to dig a hole wherever we can find a quiet space. And normally, we guys, we are a little bit privileged. We can just try to find a bush, stand behind there, and do our things. If you are a woman, it could be tougher, and maybe you want to sit. And I have a small tips for you. You know my backpack, which I'm using normally, and which I can use also to sit on. This backpack, you can actually separate the bag from the steel construction and use this to sit on, also out there in the bush, just as a tips. Having crossed the border to Zimbabwe, we went south again towards the border of Mozambique and the town Chimanimani. While there, we took the opportunity to explore the surroundings. We are now at an altitude of 2,000 meters, and in that direction we can see Mozambique, and in the opposite direction we have Zimbabwe. After a serious hike down all the waterfalls, we have now come to the base of the mall. And It could look tempting to take a swim here, but that's only for the brave. It's cold, believe me. So now we are on our way back to the camp, and life isn't that bad.
Ah, here comes Mr. Captain. How are you, Mr. Captain?
It couldn't be better. How are you doing? It's not that very often you can come so close to a couple of rhinos.
Come fast, fast. They are going to charge you. They're going to charge you.